Hey there, I'm Tyler Wist. I'm a field crop entomologist with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, based out of the Saskatchewan Research and Development Centre. So, I'm going to tell you about Aster Leafhoppers. It is 2023 and we had a big migration of these Aster Leafhoppers. This is what the adult looks like when you blow it up with a microscope. And look at that, that's what the adult looks like when you don't blow it up with a microscope. So, very small insect. Here's what the nymph looks like. They're reproducing in cereal crops right now. We're here in July, and if you take your sweep net out and you sweep a cereal crop, you're probably going to find a lot of these little jumpy critters. Now, what's the problem with Aster Leafhoppers? They will often come infected with the phytoplasma that causes aster yellows. So these pictures that I've got here, these are development stages of canola that have been completely destroyed by aster yellows. So instead of getting flowers, we get these weird looking green things. And we've got one of those weird looking green things developing right here. So we did have a few petals, but instead of getting a nice canola pod filled with seeds, we're getting something that looks more like a leaf. So this is a camelina plant, and this entire raceme was destroyed by that aster yellow's phytoplasma. And guess what? We even have the culprit still clinging to it in its exuvium. So that's what they leave behind when they molt. So what can we do about aster yellows? Well, we can work on projects for them and try to understand what happens when they come into our province. So they're migratory and they come in usually around the end of the long weekend. This year, they came in big numbers and they came in heavily infected with aster yellow's phytoplasma. And so we've developed a rapid test at AAFC Saskatoon to tell if a single leafhopper is infected. So the old test used to take about 5 leafhoppers. You had to have enough DNA to do the test. We've now got it down to 1 leafhopper. The old test took a week. The new test, we can get an answer in 30 minutes or less. So it is a rapid diagnostic test for aster yellows. So that and the migratory patterns of the leafhoppers, it's been funded by Western Grains Research Foundation and now Saskanola, trying to help us understand these problems. Now, I was a little worried when we started seeing the aster leafhoppers coming in so infected, but the seed treatments on canola, the seed treatments that we use against flea beetles are actually very effective against these aster leafhoppers. And so I'm seeing a little bit of development of aster yellow symptoms in the canola, and as time goes on and our provincial survey comes back, we'll know more about what actually happened in these canola fields. But we are getting weird symptoms as well in the cereal crops, like wheat. And the symptoms of aster yellows in the cereal crops are a lot more subtle. So sometimes you will see yield loss, sometimes you'll see shriveled seeds, sometimes the heads will go a little bit white. The first tip that you probably have aster yellows is the flag leaf starts to purple and then turns a yellow color after. And so those flag leaves can also be brittle and kind of short, and early infection with aster yellows can make the plants dwarf as well. And what we found in an earlier project funded by Sask Wheat was that durum was more susceptible to aster yellows than spring wheat was. So thank you very much, and I hope you've learned about aster leafhoppers today.